Hey everyone, I'm Nathan. Welcome to Divvy Dreams. This is my first video reviewing Roundhill's weekly paying ETFs. Every Thursday, with the exception of today, I will be covering all of Roundhill's weekly pairs for Friday's announcements. Tomorrow, after those announcements are made, I'll be releasing the full video that would have been my estimate video due to some timing issues on my end. You may be asking what this video is about. It's meant to be a preview, and I wanted to test out my video settings. So let's get into it. So as you can see on my screen, I have the 24 weekly pairs. That is, to me, a little nuts. As some context, I got into these pairs, certainly not all of them, when they first started releasing in 2025. At the time, there was only 7. So the idea that there's 24 now is nuts. So what I'll be covering in these videos when I start releasing them before the estimate's made is I don't know if I'm gonna actually cover WPay or not, but I will definitely be covering anything that's released on Friday. So my format, as you can see, has all the ETFs listed in the first column. The second column in B is the underlying stocks that they're based on. I have some previous payment information here from week 2 to week 5. Those are effectively January, February dates. And if we go over to into column 6 or G, 6, sorry, we're looking at week 6 estimates, and that's where the numbers will be. And I'll share those with you and kind of reveal them as we go through the list. So I have a guess amount here. Again, I'll go over all these a little bit more in detail as I go through each one. The earn column, in this case, and we're a day out, but we're effectively looking at the total amount that has been earned from the stock in the past 5 days. All right, so the total is the total amount of dividends the stock has paid over the last 4 weeks. The yield is, how much the stock may pay based on its yield. And then we have the 30-day IV for the stock. In this case, that number is accurate, and it seems a little too good to be true. And then the gain, which is pretty high. As you can see with Apple's case, we're looking at a 500% gain over the past 4 days of trading. And then moving over here under distributions. So this particular column covers all the distributions that this stock has paid since its inception. And I list that because, as I'll talk about in a moment, the return on capital is kind of reflected of that. So the return of capital, or I have it as listed as ROC in this case, this is the amount that the stock has paid since its inception. So in some cases, some of these stocks are paying past their inception price, and sometimes they're not. And then I have a dividend total, and that basically is taking the current stock price and dividing that by week 2 in this case, and that gives us the total amount of weeks that are left for that particular stock to pay out its total amount of dividend. And then finally we have launch price, and then the current price. I wanted to include these because, when I first started thinking about making these videos last year, which never got around to it, all of these stocks, for the most part, were trading above what they're actually launched at. We're in a weird time this week and last week where stock prices are historically low, that are far beyond what we've seen a lot of prices drop to in recent years. In some cases, and just looking at some of these stock prices, we're down anywhere from 40 to maybe 60 or even 70%, which is pretty radical, and radical in a bad way. Well, either way, so then on column S, I have the delta between the price launch and how much it's worth now. So that's the format. I know I didn't provide very good explanations right now in terms of like what some of these columns mean, but as I walk through each one of these tomorrow, we'll talk about prior payments, how much they've earned over that course of time, of course, the total, and all these other columns will start to make a little bit more sense. Again, this is just a preview. I just want to get everyone kind of on board with my video. I wanted to put a video out because this will be my very first one. So I look forward to seeing anyone who happens to see this tomorrow afternoon as we talk about what payments were made for week 6. So if you find this topic interesting and you like Roundhill weekly ETFs, please consider subscribing to the channel. I currently don't have a subscriber yet, so you'll be one of the first if you happen to do that. And if you end up doing that, please consider liking it as well. That will help boost my video and get it in front of more people. So thanks again for watching. I'm Nathan. This is Divvy Dreams. I'll see you tomorrow.